Hey friends, it's that time of year again for curriculum flip-throughs and top picks for next year in school. So stay tuned and we're going to take a look at what we've decided to use for second grade next year. If you're new here, my name is Megan and welcome to Mile High Homeschool. I like to make videos on homemaking and homeschooling. Hopefully these will be encouraging to you in your journey, but let's dive right in. So I'm going to kind of go through these in the order of which I'm planning on doing them throughout the day. Like I said, we're going to be trying a new homeschool schedule this fall, and I'm hoping to kind of ease into it this summer and then really firm it up this fall. One thing I'm really excited about going through with the kiddos is this Answers in Genesis book for kids that Ken Ham has put together. And he has 8 of them, which they're super cool. And it's basically just like, hey, here's a question. When did time begin? The answer is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1. And so then it talks about how time started and how God created it and the young earth and how time doesn't mean the same thing to God as it does to us and that kind of stuff. And then other verses that can go with it. And so it's really a great series because they cover all kinds of things. Why was the first person that God created a boy? Did Adam name the same animals the same names we call them now? Who was Cain's wife? Why doesn't the Bible mention her birth if she was Eve's baby? And so they're actual questions written in by actual kids, which I like. And it covers a ton of them. And it's really fun because I actually did the math on it. And there's enough question and answers in this series that I will be able to do one a day for the entire school year, which I am really excited about. So I'm really looking forward to going through those. This year, we're doing something new in that we are going to go through Gentle and Classical Press does a morning menu, or morning virtues is what they call it. And so we're going to go through that for the first time. I have never used their product before, but I've heard great things about it. So I am really looking forward to it. So I printed it all off. They have a free one on Courage. And so I printed it off and I am really looking forward to going through this. They've got read aloud things as suggestions. I don't know if we're going to do 100% of what they have in here, but I am looking forward to doing the poetry. I'm looking forward to doing the artist study. I love the detail that they put into the history behind each work and that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to the stuff on the composer study and that kind of thing. And they've got crafts and stuff. And then on their morning menu, they have affirmations, which I love. I think that's so powerful. And I love hymn study. We did that before. And then they have a catechism in theirs. I think we're going to do a different one. There's an app called New City Catechism. And I think we're going to go through that one. There's a couple things in that app that I don't agree with 100% theologically, but it won't be a big deal to change those for me. So yes, I am very much looking forward to these. I just taped it on with washi tape and I need the actual slide-in cover for this notebook. And then the other thing I'm planning on doing in the morning with the kids is the mom to kid read aloud. So I think it'd be really fun to go through this Girls of Courage one. I know my son probably won't love it, but I think it'll be really fun. It's one of the Lamplighter Publishing collections that they have, which I think will be really cool. And these are all biographies. So I think that'll be really cool to go through. And then I really want to start the Little House series because I love it. So I want my kids to love it too. So I really want to do read alouds for that as well. So one thing that I wanted to insert in here really quick that we actually did last year in first grade, and we're going to keep it the same in second grade this year, is we are going to be using learnhowtosign.com to learn sign language together. And so my daughter's learning it and I'm learning it as well. And the reason why we're doing sign language, especially this early on, is actually because my youngest son is hard of hearing in both ears. So he actually wears hearing aids. He can hear most things fairly clearly with his hearing aids, but without his hearing aids, human speech gets a little bit muddled, especially in loud or crowded places, or if he's far away from us, that kind of thing. I'm sure at a future point I will go more into his hearing loss and what that is like. But because of that, we want to learn sign language so that way we're familiar with it, and then also as a family we can teach him as well, so he's familiar with us using it a lot. We are by no means great at it. This is a huge learning curve for us that we are taking on, but Learn How to Sign with Meredith has been really great. She's an excellent teacher. Her courses are really great. I've really loved them. This last year, we originally started in first grade just using her free YouTube videos, which were really helpful. But this last year, we actually got a lifetime membership to her website and all of her courses, which has been really great and very in-depth. And she has like little comprehension quizzes and stuff on there. So it's like you practice, she'll sign and you try to like write down what you think she said and then see if you were correct. Or then it'll be like, hey, she'll tell you something to sign and you sign it and then she'll sign it and it'll see if you're correct and that kind of thing. So I really, really enjoy it. And my daughter really likes it as well. And because it's video lessons, it's an easy thing we can do together. They're maybe like 5-10 minutes long each. So I think it's going to be really helpful moving forward as a family to have that resource and to keep doing that each year as well. Then for math this year, we are going to be going through the Life of Fred series. So they have a whole elementary series. We are really just going to hone in on these 4 for second grade. And then I think I'll add more in for later grades. I don't know if you've ever seen Life of Fred before. It's a really cool series. The way a lesson goes is that you just read a story, and in the story the characters talk about different math things and even like cultural things and time and like all kinds of stuff. Like it's really neat. And then they have a Your Turn to Play section, which is just a section of problems that you work through on a separate sheet of paper. And you have your, like, if your child can't read, you read them the problems. But it's not like you're solving the problem for them. You want to make sure that they're doing it. And then you turn the page and there's the answers. And so you can talk about it a little bit more with the kids. The biggest objection I hear to Life of Fred is a lot of people don't feel like it's enough math. But I feel like if you just get in the habit of talking about math and doing it as like a day-to-day thing, because like they're talking about like days of the week here. What's the second day of the week? Okay, it's Monday. All right, well, do you really need a worksheet to tell you to drill the days of the week? Or maybe just in the morning you practice like, yep, today's the second day of the week because it's Monday. And then the next day it's Tuesday. This is the third day of the week. And so you just like learn to incorporate math more in everyday life. And I feel like these stories help your kids understand that more. Now, there are only like 18 or 19 chapters in each book. So it doesn't take a long time to read through them. But the way you're supposed to do it is that you read through it multiple times and like have that repetition. So my daughter loved this series. We started Apples this last year in first grade. She loved it. Can't wait to do it again. So I think it'll be really fun to go through the series. I think she's really going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. My sister has used Life of Fred with all 4 of her kids for a while now, and they really enjoy it. So I think it'll be a fun one to go through. Language arts is not really going to change a lot for us this year. We've already been doing the Logic of English Foundation series for the last 2 years. So we will be continuing in that with Foundation C. Now in these, because it is the next level, there's going to be more games, more copy work, bigger sections of reading, more complicated phonograms and phonic sounds and that kind of thing. But I think it's going to be really fun. I am really excited about it. And once again, this is a great curriculum if you haven't seen my previous videos on it, but it covers a little bit of everything. So it's got assessments in there, which is great because it's a chance for you as a teacher to understand what your kid needs to have mastered versus what they can still be learning before you move on. So it's not like a pass-fail test kind of thing. It just helps you know if you should slow down or speed up as you're going through the curriculum. Or maybe not speed up, but just like keep the same pace. But I love it because it covers all the different skills that you do: phonics and vocabulary and spelling and penmanship, comprehension and reading. So there's lots of great, it's a very well-rounded, hearty curriculum, which I really appreciate. I believe all the copy work in here is print. I don't think they have a cursive version of this particular student workbook. However, you can get the Foundations Level C handwriting supplement, which we have, and that's an easy way to do the cursive stuff. And it's like, you can just print it out. So I have that, and that's what we're going to be using for the copy work within this Foundation C part. History is staying the same this year. We are going to be going through Story of the World, except this year we're going through Volume 2 because last year we did Volume 1. And I really liked it. I think it's going to be really fun to go through. I love the way she writes the stories. It's very engaging. My daughter loves listening to them and I love going through them. You can see I've written little notes of like, hey, let's watch this movie while we go through this story or that kind of thing. So I've tried to make notes of things that we can add into it to make it really fun. The teacher's guide that it comes with is huge and has so much awesome stuff. I got this curriculum used from other homeschoolers and I'm forever thankful for them, and forever thankful that they did this 3-ring punch because it just makes life easier. They have so much in the curriculum that you can add to it. So it's as simple as reading, but then they have like narration exercises that you can do with it, or review questions depending on what kind of narration or like feedback you want from your kids. There's extra reading you can do. There's extra books that the kids can read that are more like kids options. They have map work stuff, which we did the map work last year and loved it. They've got coloring pages, and then they've got projects that you can go through and do of crafts or activities, cooking. So I love it. I think it's super fun because it's really easy to make it as in-depth or as basic as you want. And it's a 4-part series. It's definitely something that you can go through over and over and over again and get more in depth with your kids as you continue to go through it. So I'm really excited to keep doing Story of the World. I think it's going to be really fun. I know a lot of people don't love the worldview of it. I have not had any issues with the worldview of it. And personally, I think if you're relying only on your history curriculum to teach your worldview, you're kind of being lazy as a parent. So I don't rely only on history to teach a biblical worldview. I teach that in all of our subjects. Now, I am very excited about science because that was the one I was struggling with the most for 2nd grade. I will fully admit that that is the reason why this video is so late in the year, because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do for science. But we finally settled on doing Apologia for science this year, which I am really looking forward to. So we're going to be doing Exploring Creation with chemistry and physics. The style that they write the textbook is very story-esque, which I really appreciate. And they have like little experiment things that you can do if you want to. And I love the pictures. It's not too heavy. So I think it'll be really fun to read through. I'm really looking forward to this. If you would like a flip through of this curriculum, let me know and I can do that. They also then have a notebooking journal. They have 2 different versions of it. They have the junior one and the regular one. So obviously we got the junior one because it's for beginning writers. And I love it because it's talking about the lesson of like, okay, what did you do? What did you learn? That kind of idea, which is so key. There's coloring pages in there, which is really fun. There are facts that the kids can do and like illustrate to like figure out what they learned. So it's very like Charlotte Mason-esque with how you are doing the notebooking and filling in the information, that kind of stuff. There's gentle prompts, but I don't feel like it's gives the answers to the kids, which I appreciate. And so I am really excited about it. Talks about Sir Isaac Newton, that kind of thing, his laws of motion. And then one thing that I was so excited about is they have copywork pages, and they also have it in cursive, which I was thrilled with because so many places don't have copywork in cursive for the junior sections. So I didn't even realize that until I got the book in the mail, and I was freaking out about it. Like, I was so excited. So I think this is going to be a really fun curriculum to go through. I am very excited about it. And one book that we have that's still in the mail, it didn't get here yet. I will, if it gets in the mail before this video is posted, I will put it up, or I'll just put a little picture of it up. But it's called Men of Science, Men of God. And that book is really cool because it's a lot of different biographies of scientists who were Christians and believers. And so I'm really excited that as we go through just any future science curriculum, but this one especially, that we can listen and read to the biographies of these men who made these huge leaps and bounds forward in science and helped advance the scientific world so much, but that they recognize that science is something that God created. It's not in opposition to God. It's actually something that God created. He ordained it. He orchestrated it. He's the one who came up with science in the first place. So I am really excited to go through that book as well. Now, the last thing we're going to do each day is the read alouds of the kids reading to mom. Now, granted, when I say the kids, I just mean my daughter because she's the one who's reading right now. But as the others get older, I feel like it'll be really helpful to have this be part of it, because the reason I scheduled it where it is because I can start working on lunch while they are reading aloud to me. So some of the books are books that are part of our Logic of English curriculum. So if there's reading that day, I will have her do it out of one of these at the end of the day. The other options that we have that we're going to go through are Frog and Toad, because that's a great one. This is another fun antique book that's just a cute little story, little book that is about a dog and a cat and little stories about them that I think will be really fun. And the illustrations are just so beautiful. So I think that'll be really fun to go through. I then also have these books that are antiques. They're part of the Progressive Course in Reading, the first and second books, which antiques are such a great resource for reading. The first one is a little more basic, but I like it because it has cursive in it. It talks about the sounds and like long and short vowels and stuff like that, which I think is going to be great practice in reading cursive, in just reading in general, and the proper sounds for it and that kind of stuff. There's even toward the back, I saw a spot where it was like letters that people write back and forth to each other. But I think it's going to be really, really good for her with that. This one as well, I think is going to be really good as just like an easy reminder. It's the next level up, but I think it'll be really good. It has you go through words as like reminders and stuff like that. And so she can just read like a story a day, because the story is like maybe a page, 2 pages, and then you review the different words. And so I think that'll be really, really good. I had talked about these in our summer learning video. If she doesn't get the 2 of these this summer, then these are other ones that are also antiques that she can read throughout the year as like practice read alouds for me. So I think that'll be really fun. They're really cute little stories and stuff like that. They actually used to be part of a school system where I'm at. And so I think these will be really good to go through. I think she'll really enjoy them. I will say, like, antiques are a great resource, especially when it comes to reading. If you are looking for good books for your kids to read, looking for good stories and really beautiful illustrations, check your antique stores, check your thrift stores, that kind of thing. Antique books are a great tool, which I am really excited to be able to take advantage of, because I actually read a lot of antique books growing up, which my mom used as a great way to save money on curriculum. Well, I hope that was really helpful to you guys and you were able to get some good ideas for second grade curriculums. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.